Hi, folks. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about mindset and personal belief and how it affects our health and how things happen around us in the world. So I'm going to talk about some things that I'm sorry, but not sorry, is going to offend some of you. But this is the reality that I've seen played out over and over, and I've seen the evidence of this in my own life over and over. And the hard truth is that we generate our own reality. When we always have stuff happening to us that's bad, stuff's always screwing up, something's always happening to mess with our lives, we are generating that ourselves. How, you ask? It's happening to me. Well, it comes from a couple of places. One is when we view ourselves as a victim, when we see the world as having victimized us. And for many of us, that's true. We were victimized. I was victimized. It's unfortunate. We all go through it. But when we let that become the focus of our life, that becomes the operating system that we operate with. That's our software taking over and controlling our hardware. This has a very significant effect on the body, on our health, on things like weight loss and metabolic health. Mitochondria is affected by how you think. Negativity, gratitude, these all have an effect on your health. And they have an effect on the things that happen around you. When you're focused on the negative and focused on seeing the bad in things, then that's what you're going to generate around you, and that's what you're going to notice. It's like when you buy a new car and all of a sudden you're seeing that car everywhere. You never noticed it before. Well, that's because that has now become your focus. And this focus is what decides how we get along in the world, how we view other people, how other people view us. Now, when I dealt with some childhood trauma last year and confronted a lot of that stuff and dealt with it, I was able to change my operating system. And I no longer saw myself as being a victim of circumstance or a victim of people. I saw myself as being a winner. And now this goes for weight loss and health as well. You know, you can be doing all the right things. You can be, say, following a carnivore diet and being strict about it and doing everything that you're reading about, and yet you're stuck. You can't lose any more weight, or you can't continue to heal. It seems like you're doing all the right things. Well, what this usually comes down to is how you see yourself, your own beliefs. If you don't see yourself as a healthy, skinny person, then you're going to have a heck of a time becoming a healthy, skinny person. If you believe you're going to fail, if you believe it's not going to work, you will make it true. Your own mind will take what your focus is and generate reality from it. This is what I mean when I say we generate our own reality. Now, I want to give you a concrete example. Many of you know that we recently lost our place a week ago in a fire. So our apartment building burned, and there's 70 units unoccupied right now, and we all had our struggles. We all had a lot to deal with in a hurry. And for me, or for us, my wife and I, we had a different mindset than most of the people. Most of the people were, woe is me, this happened to me, now what do I do? All this stuff always happens to me. And we focused on something completely different. We focused on the good that can come out of it. And we focused on what we needed to do, and we focused on helping other people. And we focused on everything but the bad side of it. I was always looking for silver linings. I still look for silver linings. And it's that difference in perspective. And, my personal faith in my God, my personal faith in my own capabilities and my wife's capabilities We have faith in that, and we believe in ourselves. And this is part of what generated a much better outcome for us than for many of people that were dealing with the aftermath of the fire. For us, everything fell into place. We got one thing done after another, just boom, 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 because that's what we were focusing on. And we weren't focusing on the bad thing. We were just focusing on how to solve problems. What's this problem in front of us? How do we solve it? On to the next. And within days, we already had another place to rent. It's all lined up. The rent's paid. We've got advances from the insurance company because we followed exactly the steps they wanted us to. We happened to be with a good insurance company. Uh, that was very helpful. But not everybody dealing with that insurance company is having the same result. They're having similar results in most cases, but some of them are still having issues. And when I look back at the people that are having issues with the people they're dealing with and the companies and just getting stuff done, many of them are focused on these negative things. And I know what I'm saying is not a very popular view, but it's something that people need to hear. We need to understand this, because I remember when I was starting this healing journey a few years ago, trying to figure stuff out. As long as my mindset was still the old mindset, I had limited success compared to what I wanted to have. And when I dealt with that childhood trauma, confronted it, reframed it, and changed how I look at the world, everything for me changed. Good stuff just started happening around me, started happening to me. People stepped up to want to help me with stuff just from out of the blue. It's been absolutely amazing. And what's the consistent thing that I've changed that seems to be spawning all these differences? It's mindset, it's personal belief. And if you're having problems with those things, I might be able to help with that. I don't charge for this kind of stuff. I just help people that need help. That's what I do. And there are some very concrete steps you can take, certain types of affirmations done a certain way that can help to break that cycle. And these are tools that we can use. I've made a lot of use over the last few years of meditation techniques and self-hypnosis, and even things like chanting and binaural beats, audio therapy. You use what works. Our bodies and our minds, it's a complete integrated system. And we need to address all of it and try and address all of it at once. Or we fall into the same trap that medical doctors have been falling into for decades in this country. And that's falling into a trap of looking at one thing and trying to treat just that one thing instead of looking at the entire underlying person, the whole being, and treating everything at once. This is called integrated healing. And, this tracking one thing and trying to treat it just doesn't work. We've seen the fruits of it. It just doesn't work. All these people with chronic diseases, all the diseases that I was dealing with that I was told could never get better. And, through a combination of research, proper dieting, experimenting on myself, and, just putting in the work and doing the research and following my gut in many cases. And this is the formula. You have to do all these things to address all aspects of who you are as a person to get full, complete, permanent healing. And this is a step that a lot of people aren't willing to take. And unless you're willing to take it, things are never going to improve past a certain point. It's just the way it works. It's the way life is. And even books that you buy about health and metabolism and losing weight and all that, a lot of them address these issues because it is vital to long-term success. So I'm going to leave you with that today. And if any of you want to reach out for help, I am available. Yes, we had the fire last week, but things have been working out with us fairly well with insurance and donations and stuff. So I do have a computer system back up and running, so I can, do research and help people find information, that kind of thing. And should have the final gear I need for doing podcasts and stuff at the end of this week. On Saturday, it's supposed to arrive. So we'll be able to start doing that again, and I can start doing interviews that I was doing. We'll be back to doing that fairly quickly. And I got a lot of work to do before we actually move into our new house. So at the beginning of August. So this is my plan going forward. I got tons to do, and I'm getting busy doing it. And I hope you can all do the same. We'll talk to you later, folks. Bye for now.